Can a restraining order be dropped, modified, or appealed?
In the state of New Jersey, a restraining order can be modified or appealed. Anytime that someone wants to seek a change to a restraining order, they have to petition the court for that relief. So if you are the person who sought a restraining order and perhaps you were awarded some type of temporary financial relief, or if you're the person against whom a restraining order is entered and you want access to children that was denied to you in the restraining order, you can go back to court and seek to have those provisions reviewed. Now, whether or not those provisions will be reviewed, same standard will apply as in any other application. Substantial change in circumstances would have to attach. Typically, a court is only going to enter interim financial relief and interim relief regarding children in a restraining order. Those issues are normally handled under a matrimonial case or a non-dissolution case for people who were never married, but normally a restraining order does immediately impact the parties because they're no longer living together. So some temporary relief is going to be ordered. You can always seek review of that. Regarding a final restraining order, if a final restraining order is entered, you have an absolute right to seek an appeal of that to a superior court appellate division within 45 days of the entry of a final restraining order. If a plaintiff no longer desires to have a restraining order against the defendant, the plaintiff may go to court and ask to have it dropped. That is not an absolute. Sometimes a court has to inquire into the circumstances. A court is always going to want to know why a plaintiff suddenly does not want the protections that he or she sought when they applied for a restraining order. It is not simply sufficient to say, I no longer want it. You're going to have to prove that you no longer fear the safety of yourself or your children that are protected by the restraining order. And many times a court will deny a plaintiff's request to dismiss a restraining order. Once the order is entered, it becomes the court's order, not your order to simply do away with as you please.